I have another book for you today. This one is called Peanut Saves Rusty the Alien by Holly Jenkins Williams. It was the fourth rainy afternoon of the week this summer, and Peanut had run out of new games to play indoors. She was waiting on Pops to come home because Miss Virginia was over while he ran to the post office. But all Miss Virginia liked to do was watch TV. Just as Peanut was brainstorming for new ideas, there was a knock at the door. Peanut jumped up and ran to answer it. Behind a huge box, she heard a familiar voice. Pops was home and carrying a very large parcel he had picked up at the post office. It was a new 2-in-1 crock pot and mixer he had ordered to try new recipes. The box lay open on the floor as he carefully carried his new instruments into the kitchen. He asked Peanut if she wanted to help him with lunch preparation, but she said it would have to be another time. She had just thought of a brilliant new game, but would need to use the box from the new cooking appliance. Pops was happy to have it not just go to the recycling, as it was a very nice box indeed. Peanut ran upstairs and grabbed construction paper, markers, scissors, and her best stickers, and began her work to build a giant spaceship. She cut and pasted and drew for a very long time. When her creation was finally complete, she assembled it and carefully started toward the door to take it downstairs and show off her handiwork, when suddenly the box began to shake. The buttons lit up and smoke billowed from beneath the machine as it powered on. The rocket ship was taking off. Peanut fell back as the machine lifted up into the air. Thinking fast, she told Glenn to hop out and open the window. Right as he did, the rocket shot out of the window and into the sky. Peanut clambered back into the pilot's seat and fastened her seatbelt. She had to make contact with Glenn, who was working from the rocket ship's control center in her room. She tried the radio, knowing it was their only chance of making it back home. "Glenn, this is Peanut. Do you read me?" "Loud and clear, Peanut," his voice squeaked in over the static. Yes, the radio worked. By this time, Peanut and Sandy were climbing higher and higher into the sky. The houses were shrinking, the cars looked like toys, and her neighbors were as small as ants. The view of the stars was magnificent, though, as she gradually left Earth's atmosphere and soared into the black emptiness of space. The stars were brighter and bigger than she had ever seen them from her backyard. They glided by clusters of constellations and weaved around meteors until they finally landed on a strange planet that neither Peanut nor Sandy recognized. Ooh, look at that. Curious, Peanut grabbed her helmet, suited up, and carefully stepped from the spacecraft. The planet was an orangey red and covered in little hills and valleys. As she approached one of the hills, a tiny alien popped out. "Oh, hello," Peanut said politely. "Hello, my name is Rusty," the alien replied in a robotic but happy tone. "Could you tell me where we are?" she inquired, looking around again. "This is planet Oxidious." "Oh," cried Peanut. Now she knew what the red-orange hue was. Pops had explained it to her only a few days earlier. When metals mix with water for a long period of time and then are exposed to oxygen in the air, they turn to rust. The entire planet must be covered in it. The alien sneezed very loudly, causing a huge cloud of red dust to explode in slow motion as the tiny particles formed a cloud around them. "Bless you," said Peanut, and offered the alien a tissue. "Thank you," he sniffed robotically. "This rust dust is making us sick," he explained before blowing his nose. "We are allergic to rust." explained the alien. Our planet had too much rain, and it caused these rust storms. Now everything is covered in it. Suddenly, Peanut had an idea. She wasn't sure if it would work, but it was worth a try. She hurried back to the spaceship and grabbed a jar of pickles she had been saving for lunch. Pops had told her that vinegar would remove rust. She had learned in school that pickles were made with vinegar. With the pickle jar in hand, she explained her ingenious plan to Rusty. His face lit up, and they began digging holes to plant the pickles. After planting the entire jar, they poured the pickle juice over each row. Because the ground of Oxidious is not quite like that of Earth, the pickles began to grow immediately. They shot up from the ground. Large stems of green broke through the red layer as the pickle trees took root. Soon, the thick layers of rust began to disappear from around the plants. It worked, they beamed. Let's keep planting. They picked handfuls of pickles from the new trees and worked vigorously until nearly the entire planet was covered in pickle plants. As the rust began to disappear, the true surface of the planet shone through, and it was more beautiful than any dirt Peanut had seen on Earth. It shimmered and glowed a brilliant silver. Rusty thanked Peanut and Sandy for saving his planet. In return for their kindness, Rusty filled their pickle jar with some of the shiny, glittering soil and gave it to Peanut so she would never forget their adventure and her creative idea. The two friends waved goodbye to Rusty as they boarded their spaceship to head back to Earth. As the rocket approached Peanut's house, a delicious smell filled the air. It was almost time for lunch. The machine glided through the open window of her room and landed safely beside Glenn, who was waiting anxiously at the control panel to hear all about their great adventure. Peanut raced downstairs and retold her grand journey to space, where she grew pickle trees on planet Oxidious. Pops was quite impressed and asked if next time he could join them. Peanut happily agreed. And a recipe for Pop's bread and butter pickles. How about that?